Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout and I'm just showing you some of the products I think I may use. I showed two stamp set at the beginning, but I don't end up using it because of the way I do the background. So a lot of it is from the January kit. And again, I'm trying to come up with things that I'm using all my scraps, because at this point I have no more full sheets. All of it is just scraps. So I start off, I was just going to use the doily as an accent and then decided to use it as a mask. So the Mr. Huey I'm using is going to be called First Kiss. So I'm going to spray it out, and I didn't know which pink was more fitting for what I want to use. So I just, used drips on a Kleenex there, and First Kiss was the one that was the least. I guess once it dried, it was more pink than the red. So that's the color I want to use. So I put it to the side so that it could have time to dry. And now I'm going to use some papers. And I cut it anywhere between 2.5 to about 3 inches. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make some flags. And so I'm just cutting off the branding strip, and I'm going to cut 2 of this one because I want to use the both sides of the paper. So I'm going to lay it out on my paper just to kind of see how I want it laid out. So that's basically how I want it laid out. 3 in the back, then 2, then 1. And I'm going to cut them all different sizes so that they kind of add some interest to the page. And I'm not really measuring, I'm just kind of taking either my finger or a pencil and marking where I want to cut them. And now with my Tim Holtz ruler, I'm just going to make a dot in the middle of the flag so that I can make the little tail, and so that it's more centered than off to one side. Now this layout didn't take me any time at all. It was 49 minutes from start to finish. So I was pretty happy about that. But I kind of had an idea of what I want to do. I knew I wanted to make flags so that I didn't have to sit there and wonder what I was going to do. So that kind of helped that I didn't have to wonder. But when I first start, I think that the flags are going to be up and down like I'm putting them now, and I do end up changing my mind. So I'm going to start gluing them down because I know that's how I want it, and I do end up gluing them more to the left than I want to, so I have to rip it up, and I end up ripping the background paper, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be all covered up. So that kind of stuff doesn't bother me because I know, once it's glued down, you can't really tell that the background is kind of cut up. So I'm going to glue those down, and like I said, 3 in the background, then 2 kind of centered in the middle of those 3, and then that last one, which is the smallest flag, is going to be the smallest one. And at this point I kind of turn the page just to kind of work on it, and then I end up liking the way it is, so I end up doing the page this way. And at first I do 2 4x6 photos, and I'm going to glue them down. And then when I put them on my page, I don't find I see enough of the flags, so I end up ripping that up and cutting the pictures down. So it's at this point that I notice that I don't see enough of the flags, so kind of wondering what I'm going to do about that, and then I decide to rip the pictures off again, and I cut off approximately 3/4 of an inch off each photo. It's basically just blank space anyway, so it didn't really matter. And basically the layout is about, my daughter's been on a cheerleading team for 5 years now. And and here we are apple picking, and she still is doing a prop with her boyfriend is kind of propping her up into it's almost, she was at, on the left side, she was at a cheerleading competition, and one of her base put her up in a prop, and then her boyfriend almost did the same thing at the apple orchard. And actually that's how she was apple picking. He had her on his shoulders, and she would pick apples that way. And she's a flyer for her cheerleading team, so it doesn't scare her to be up in the air. Scares the dickens out of me, but her, she loves it. So then I decide to use some of the ribbon that we got in the January kit, and one of them I cut into the size of the ribbon into a flag, and then the rest I use it and I cut it in half so that I can make it into a smaller flag, so I can put it to the right side of the paper. And I'm also going to put some by that big heart, just to kind of, so that ribbon is in 3 spots. And I decided on using some of the chipboard hearts from the kit, and also some of those wood veneer arrows. And I'm going to color the chipboard hearts in, I believe it's chewing gum. Yes, it is chewing gum from Jenny Bolin. So it's a very, very light pink. So I have to put it on a few times to make sure that it shows at all, because it's a very light pink, but it's very nice. It matches that ribbon actually very well, and also the spray from Mr. Huey Studio Calico. So I really liked it. So it takes me quite a bit of time to ink up those hearts, and this is where I decide that I'm going to make another one for another flag for the bottom of the page. And I used more of the die cuts from this, or the January kit. There was a little die cut that was from, I believe it was October Afternoon, and some die cuts, I think too, that was from the October Afternoon kit that they had given us in the Studio Calico. Again, I don't know which add-on it was in, or whether it was the main kit, because I did get the main kit and all 4 add-ons. So the title is going to be, Can You Tell I'm a Flyer? So I just kind of set out the alphabets on the wax paper. I couldn't think of the name, and then I'm going to move them around because they're kind of all crooked, but it's just to kind of give me an idea of how they could fit. So now at this point I'm going to start gluing everything down, and I'm making it so it's totally to the left of the page, like there's nothing showing from the paper to the left of the page, because I wanted the flags to show on the right side. And I'm going to work on the bottom left cluster, and I'm going to use the quick dry adhesive to glue everything down. And I think with the 2-3 layouts that I'm going to use, I don't think I'm going to have, if I have any left of the chipboard hearts, and I only have a few of the arrows, so the next couple layouts I'm going to try and use those up. So that's using quite a bit of the embellishments, and I barely have any of those, I believe it was Freckle Fawn's arrows. I barely have any of those left, so I did a good job using those too. I find the stickers, I'm having a little harder time using them, so I'm going to try and use them in the next few layouts. If not, I keep them out, and I'm going to use them with my February kit too. I keep them out for about 3 months, and I kind of I got October, November, December stuff all put away with my regular stash, and now I'm going to keep January, February, and March, you know, as I'm using them, to make sure that I use up as much as I can. So now I'm going to glue down my title, and I'm lining it up with one of the flags so that it's nice and straight. And I actually started with the bottom of the title so that I knew I had enough space, and then the top part, can you, and then tell I'm a flyer. And I decided to use 3 of those wood veneers arrows to the top of the page. And I added 1 more arrow to the top just so that there would be, in the 3 clusters, that there would be wood veneer. And now I'm adding 3 of those little black stars, and I don't know if it came in this kit or in another month's kit, but I'm almost done. I only have 2 of those left. So I'm really happy with the way I'm using up everything that comes in the kits. It's making me feel good about buying, you know, the kits. And these pictures were taken in 2 different months. One was in May of 2012, and it's the left picture. And I thought the other one was September 2012, but it was actually 2011. So I just fixed it up with my marker, and it barely shows. You can just see the one, so I'm okay with that. And again, I'm using some of that twine that I just got a few days ago. I really like the colors. And I mean, twine lasts forever, so I don't know how much is in one of those. I don't know how much. I think 10 yards each. Yes, I'm looking at it right now. 10 yards in each. So that should last me for a while. I usually buy the big rolls that have like, I don't know, 400 yards. I mean, you'll never in a lifetime use all of that up. Actually, I know that I have maybe 10 colors in the big twine. So I'm gonna do some of those up because I set out for my challenge, some of the gifts or the prize. I'm gonna put some of the twines in because I said I want to do my favorites. You know, this time around it's some of my favorites that I'm gonna put in the gift or the prize. So hopefully in the next couple days I'll be able to show the prize for the challenge. So that's it. So thanks for watching. Bye.